यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुनातीरावन चारी यमुनातीरावन चारी जय राधा माधव बिहारी गोपी जना वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरावन चारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे जय राधा माधव राधे जय राधा गोपी जन वल्लभ राधा गोपी जन वल्लभ राधे जय निताय पतित पावन गौर हरि 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 जय जगन्नाथ जगन्नाथ बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा जय जगन्नाथ बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव निताय गौर हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्रजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर श्रीमद हिजरीवन ग्रेस ऐसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्रजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर श्रीमद भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। गंगा माई यमुना माई की जय। भक्ति देवी तुलसी देवी की जय। कलयुग पावन हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। श्री गोप गोपिका श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। ब्रजभूमि वृंदावन धाम की जय। श्री धाम मायापुर धाम की जय। पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथ पुरी धाम की जय। रथ यात्रा महामहोत्सव की जय। All glories to assembled devotee Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotee Hare Krishna. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Narom Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudiraye. Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namah. So I welcome all the devotees in today's Srimad Bhagavatam class and seeking all your blessing. We are reading from, I'm just sharing the screen. So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam chapter 3, Canto 3, chapter 27 and verse number 1. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Prakrutistopi Purusho Nyajate Prakruter Gune Avikarat Kartutvar Nirgunatva Jalar Kavat. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Prakrutistopi Purusho Nyajate Prakrute Gune Avikarat Kartutvan Nirgunatva Jalar Kavat. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Prakrutistopi Purusho Nyajate Prakrute Gune Avikarat Kartutvan Nirgunatva Jalar Kavat. Anybody want to recite? Please go ahead and unmute yourself. Anyone want to recite? Am I audible? Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, if somebody want to recite, please go ahead.
Shri Bhagavan Vacha
Sri Bhagavan
Prakrutisto api purusho
Prakrutistopi Purusho
Najate Prakruter Gunai
Ajate Prakruter Gune
Avikarad Akartatvan
Avikarat Kartutvan
Nigunatva Jalarkavat.
Nirgunatva Jalakavat.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha, the personality of Godhead said, Prakritisti. Sorry, I will just reduce this. Okay. Residing in the material body, api, although, Purushaha, the living entity, na, not, ajjate, is affected, prakrite, of material nature, gune, by the modes, avikarat, from being without change, akartitvat, by freedom from proprietorship, nirgunatvat, from being unaffected by the qualities of material nature, jala, on water, arkavat, like the sun. Arka is the sun, Sanskrit word for the sun. The translation, the personality of Godhead, Kapila continued, when the living entity is thus unaffected by the modes of material nature, because he is unchanging and does not claim proprietorship, he remains apart from the reaction of the mode, although abiding in a material body, just as the sun remains aloof from its reflection on water. Purport. In the previous chapter, Lord Kapila Deva has concluded that simply by beginning the discharge of devotional service, one can attain detachment and transcendental knowledge for understanding the science of God. Here the same principle is confirmed. A person who is detached from the modes of material nature remains just like the sun reflected on water. When the sun is reflected on water, the movement of the water or the coolness or unsteadiness of the water cannot affect the sun. Water may be cool, water may be, it is, moving, but it will not affect the sun at all. So that is the quality of the sun described in this purport. Similarly, Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita Bhagavatam 127. When one engaged fully in the activities of devotional service, Bhakti Yoga, he became just like the sun reflected on water. Although a devotee appears to be in the material world, actually he is in the transcendental world. As a reflection of the sun appears to be on the water, but is many millions of miles away from the water. So one engaged in Bhakti Yoga process is a nirguna or unaffected by the qualities of material nature. Avikara means without a change. It is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita that each and every living entity is part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, and thus his eternal position is to cooperate or dovetail his energy with the Supreme Lord. That is his unchanging position. As soon as he employs his energy and activity for sense gratification, this change of position is called vikara. Similarly, even in this material world, when he practices devotional service under the direction of spiritual master, he comes to the position which is without change, because that is the natural duty. As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, liberation means reinstatement in one's original position. The original position is one of the rendering service to the Lord, bhakti yogena, bhaktya. When one becomes detached from material attraction and engaged fully in devotional service, that is changelessness. Abhikarat means not doing anything for sense gratification. This is one of the golden line in the purport, second line. We have one line here, a person who is detached, giving the example of sun, and this is also the golden line of Prabhupada. When one does something at his own risk, there is a sense of proprietorship and therefore a reaction. But when one does everything for Krishna, there is no proprietorship over the activities. By changeableness and by not claiming the proprietorship of activities, one can immediately situate himself in the transcendental position in which one is not touched by the modes of material nature, just as the reflection of the sun is unaffected by the water. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Ena Tasmai Sri Gurave Nama Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyvari Pachatya Deshatarane Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktarunda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So today in this beautiful verse, Prabhupada is translating that it is spoken by Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. The first verse of 27th chapter, where elements of material nature are described. Previously, Lord described to his mother the devotional service, and now the elements of material nature. When living entities unaffected by the modes of material nature, the example is given of the sun. The sun rays are on the water, and water may wave, but there is no effect to the sun, which is situated millions of miles away from the water. Similarly, in our devotional life, so this is the lesson for all the sadhakas. It is given in this particular teaching of Srimad Bhagavatam, that while doing the worldly duty, one has to be dutiful, but simultaneously one has to be detached and one has to be devotional. These three things we have to follow. As per the teachings of Gita, one should not be affected by reversal things in the life. There are so many things, when we read from the Shastras by so many devotees from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Bhagavatam or Srimad Bhagavatam, they are unaffected by the modes of material nature, we may think that this is impractical because they are in that yuga, or they are with Supreme Personality of Godhead, or they are with certain devotees who were exhibiting they were epitome of the devotional service. So such a devotees were surrounding by them. That's what they could exhibit these symptoms, and they were not affected. Padma Patra Mivambasi, Bhagavad Gita said, one is not affected. The lotus is in the mud, but not affected by that. The lotus is lotus. So similarly, uh, we think that these are the personalities in a Bhagavatam, so they deserve such kind of qualities. But we can see many examples when we talk about Srivas Thakur, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was performing the Leela in Srivas Angan. They were performing Leela like Harinam Sankirtan. They were doing Harinam Sankirtan during the daytime and during the night time. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in full ecstasy, and there was a loud Harinam Sankirtan was going on. And some or other, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was not feeling that ecstasy in one day. And he come to know after sometimes 5 hours of Kirtan that the son of Srivas Thakur already left the body. And Srivas Thakur wanted that Krishna or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's, should not, his mood, because he was in the mood of Radharani, searching for Krishna all the time, all throughout his life. So his mood should not get disturbed. So that was the mood of Srivas Thakur. And he did not disclose. He wanted that, Lord is a Paramatma, he's a Chaitya Guru, he knows everything. But in this Leela, he doesn't want to disturb him because Lord is in his home. And he told all the ladies in the home, nobody will cry loudly. If you want to cry, you can, go in the seclusion and you can cry, but not loudly. I don't want that my Lord will get disturbed, and we can see that, Srivas Thakur was not affected as given in this sloka. So when we read some of the poems or some of the Vaishnav Acharya's Vaishnav Geet, there also, like the famous Vaishnav Geet where we say that, which is talk about the Madhuram, Madhuradipate Akhilam Madhuram. So that is a famous song, we say that Adharam Madhuram, Adharam Madhuram, Vadanam Madhuram, Nayanam Madhuram, Hasitam Madhuram. It is very, very easy to appreciate when we come in front of the Lord saying that, hey Lord, your, the lotus leaves, Adharam Madhuram, they are very attractive, or they are very sweet. And your Vadanam Madhuram, your lotus face is attractive, very sweet. Your, Nayanam Madhuram, your eyes are, lotus eyes are very sweet. And Hasitam Madhuram, even your smile is very sweet. And Gamanam Madhuram, your walking or Brahmanam Madhuram is very sweet. And further it is described that your Rudayam Madhuram, Gamanam Madhuram, in the same stanza. So when we go in front of the Lord, whatever these things are given by the Vaishnava Acharyas, so we have to sing in front of the Lord, because this entire song, it look like very sweet at the beginning, but there is a very deeper meaning is given in the middle of the song. So if we go to further, it is said that Venu Madhuram, Renu Madhuram, your flute is Madhuram, Renu Madhuram is your the dust at the lotus feet also Madhuram, because many devotees are longing for that dust of lotus feet of you. What to speak of Lord, they are longing for the lotus dust from the devotee, dust from the lotus feet of the devotee as well. So that is the entire beauty of devotional service, or sweetness of the devotional service. So Pado Madhuram, Pani Madhuram, Pado Madhuram. Hey Lord, your lotus hands are also sweet, and your lotus feet are also sweet. So Nrutyam Madhuram, Sakhyam Madhuram. Hey Lord, your dancing also very sweet, and your Sakhyam, when you do friendship with Arjuna, you become his Parthasarthi. When you do friendship with Sudama, you give entire things to him. It is said that when in these episodes of Sudama, it is nicely described that when Sudama and Krishna was recollecting their memories in the Gurukul, where they were surrounded by the storm and thunderbolt and so many things going on around, and they were trapped in the middle of the dark night. So they were holding the hand and holding the um, wood in one hand. So Gaurang Darshan Prabhu was telling that holding hand represent their friendship, that devotee has to do their service in cooperation, without judging anyone, but they have to always cooperative. So that was the mood of Krishna and Sudama. And the second thing is that they were holding the wood that representing that represents that they are following the instruction of their guru, because they wanted to collect that wood for the guru. So that is the following instruction of guru, and with cooperation we can follow the instructions of guru nicely. So that is the mood there. And it is said that in this, when Krishna becomes Sakha, why the Sakyam is Madhuram? Because the further it is, Vishnu Puran says, when Sudama went to Dwarka, Krishna arranged that Vishwakarma should build within a second or within a night entire mahal or entire palace for Sudama. But when Vishwakarma and Lakshmi Devi also approached the wife of Sudama, and she said that I am going to give all opulence to you, because Lord is purchased by the love of Sudama. So that time Sudama's wife said, it is very detailed in the story I heard from Vaishnava Acharya, from our Krishna consciousness. That's what I am repeating this. So they said that the Lakshmi said that I want to give entire opulence, because your husband has husband's devotion purchased the heart of the Lord. So she said, she was testing the wife of Sudama. Sudama's wife said, if you want to make us opulent, first make this village opulent. And because at the time of our reversal time, these all villagers, they cooperated with us and they gave some food to us. That's why we are still sustaining, and they are also equally important for us. So immediately Lakshmi Devi bestowed mercy on all villagers. So it is not like Sudama's home become palace, but other villagers things, they also got the opulence by the mercy of this devotion. This is the power of devotion of Sudama and his wife. So Sudama's wife also, there was a test in her life. There was a test in Sudama's life, as Gaurang Darshan Prabhu was saying, because one should not be one should not be proud of renunciation as well. So Krishna, because I have not adhikar to talk about this, but it was a lesson that Prabhuji was telling, that's what Krishna called Sudama there. He could have given him opulences without calling also, why he has given that opulences to him. So Prabhuji was telling in his beautiful class. So the point is here that when we go to this Madhuram song, from top to bottom, and we come to one point which really, which gives us very broad lesson in our life. When we go to that point, it is said that Karanam Madhuram, Taranam Madhuram, Haranam Madhuram, Ramanam Madhuram. So the meaning of this is that Karanam Madhuram. Hey Lord, your deeds are also Madhuram. Whatever you do is also Madhuram. At a time, you wanted to do some Leela, but you take care that everything will be happy. All of your devotee are simultaneously happy in the Leela. So that is Karanam Madhuram, Taranam Madhuram. Whenever if you want to do Taranam, that is also Madhuram. In case of Parikshit Maharaj, you saved become like a thumb, the size of the thumb, you enter in the of Uttara. Prabhuji was nicely telling that what is Uttarayana? That's what one of the name of Krishna, Uttarayana, where Bhishmadeva was waiting for that Uttarayana, means he was waiting for the Krishna, not actually the logistic of the sun, movement of the sun, that Uttarayana. So we can learn from this story that when we say that Taranam Madhuram, when Krishna do Taranam, that is also Madhuram. Initially, he saved the of Uttara, he saved Parikshit, but at the end, when there was a 7 days remain, he could not save. Apparently, it looked like he is not saving, because Takshaka will actually come. After hearing Srimad Bhagavatam also, one can, Parishit Maharaj never complained, because I heard Srimad Bhagavatam from Shukadeva Goswami. Now Takshaka should not come. There was a great yagya performed to kill all the serpent by Janmejaya, but he did not complain, and he did not he was not favorable for such act actually. So Parikshit Maharaj's mood was, I should completely surrender at the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. That was his mood. He never complained that why Krishna saved me that time, and now why Krishna he has saved me that time but not saving me now. So Taranam Maduram, we can't understand that how Taranam in Hindi is तरके जाना, we say in Hindi that नैया पार करके, जन्म मृत्यु जरा व्याधि का नैया पार करके we went to the spiritual world. Taranam Maduram, Krishna's Taranam is so sweet. And not only Taranam Maduram, Krishna's, this is, the Vaishnava poet, when they say Haranam Maduram, we require really the gut in the heart to say Haranam Maduram. Haranam is a small word, but Haranam may be your job loss, what I experienced in the month of April. We cannot say Haranam Maduram, after having all these things. And also Haranam Maduram is one of the dearmost member in our family also we have to lose one day. So that is Haranam Maduram. So sometimes we have appreciation for Nayanam Maduram, Vadanam Maduram, Hasitam Maduram, all these things. But we have to also appreciate in the song, Lord Krishna's Haranam is also Maduram, because when Srivas Thakur's son was taken by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, Chaitanya declared in that assembly, in assembly of all the devotees, hey Srivas Thakur, not only me, but Lord Nityananda is also your son from this day. And what Srivas Thakur got? He got the Lord as his son. Srivas Thakur is a Narad Muni. When he was a Narada boy, he lost his mother because his mother was beaten by the serpent when she went to jungle. And she was taking care of, only one shelter for that Narada boy was his only mother. She was taking care of all his need, but suddenly the Lord has taken his mother also. And he was going to the jungle in the forest. And when he meditated on the Lord gave him darshan within. And Lord spoke that after giving up this body, you will get transcendental body. And Krishna gave him Veena. Narada Muni Bajaye Veena, Radhika Ramana Nache, that famous song. And that Veena was offered to Narada Muni. And Narada Muni is the guru of so many devotees in the Srimad Bhagavatam. We can see the page after page, Narada Muni is instructing in Srimad Bhagavatam. So Narad Muni appreciated that this Haranam is Maduram. Srivas Thakur appreciated that this Haranam is Maduram. Other times Srivas Thakur appreciated the dance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He appreciated the smiling of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He appreciated the ecstasy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was losing his consciousness. He appreciated everything, and he did not get some reservation for this Haranam. Haranam is also sweet. Madhuradipate Akhilam Maduram. Krishna is Akhilam Maduram. We should not appreciate some part, and we should not, neglect some of the portion from this song. Vaishnavacharya's song are so deep, actually, so deep. There is one song, which, Gauranga Karuna Karo Dinahine Ajane Mosama Patita Prabhu Nahi Tribhuvane. So look like this song is very casual and very simple if you don't know the meaning of this song. Actually, when I was when we were at the college time, we got the opportunity to attend the Mangala Aarti, and I was going for 1 month. But this 1 month, I was not knowing the meaning of Mangala Aarti at all. Not even a single word from the Mangala Aarti. I was just going in front of altar as other students are going, and just, rubbing my eyes, because, just took a bath and just going, and it was against the will of the mind, whatever we were doing, against the intelligence. And I was thinking it is impractical, to get up early in the morning and go to the Mangala Aarti. So when we were going in front of the altar and rubbing the eyes, that 1 month completely I was not knowing this song is for Krishna or this song is for Guru. Completely. If you don't know the meaning of the song and just we are, doing the parrot-like thing, then that deeper meaning will not enter in our heart. Like this Haranam is actually the essence of this, Madhurabdi Pate Akilam Madhuram. So we have to appreciate Lord for his Haranam also. So similarly, in this song that we say, Tribhuvan is very important. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that that Mosama Patita Prabhu Nahi Tribhuvane. I also sing that song, but there is no deeper understanding, or there is no consciousness involved, or there is no rapt attention when we sing. When I sing, I'm talking about myself. So my mind say when I sing this song, Gauranga Karuna Karo Dinahina Jane. So when I come to the point that Tribhuvane, Mosama Patita Prabhu Nahi Tribhuvane, the mind says, are you mad? Are you saying that Tribhuvane? Tribhuvane means what? Tribhuvane means three world. Bhu, Bhuva, Swaha. It includes everything, all the planets, all the people, and you're saying that you are Patita than all these people? Mind will not appreciate that. Even intelligence will not appreciate that. Mind says that at least, come down to that level, Mosama Patita Prabhu Nahi Michigane. Mind give some interpretation, commentary for this. And mind say, at least in this Michigan, you are Patit with all these things. But mind will not compromise, because this is a game between the, dialogue between mind and intelligence. Always happen if you are not honest about ourselves. Sometime Vrindavan Prabhu asked one question to my Guru Maharaj, how we can know that my sadhana is going well? So His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj says that we have to be honest to ourselves, and we can know by ourselves. It is not like, some external things will tell you. Of course, our Guru will, we can always check with our authority and all about our sadhana, about our chanting, about our reading, Shastric studies. But we should be honest with ourselves all the time. Most of the time, we'll come to that point if, later. But what I was saying, that the mind, that this is a dialogue between mind and intelligence. What to speak about Michigane, Mosama Patita Prabhu Nahi Farmington. Finally, it will come, boil down to this thing, Even Farmington, I am not Patit. So that is the commentary of mind, commentary of our, one purport of our mind to ourselves, and convince that you are very attractive, you are impressing the people, and you are some of the, you can easily impress anyone in this world. So that is the, preaching of our mind to ourselves. So this Srimad Bhagavatam is, when we preach, it is for ourselves. It is not for other people. We have to preach this Srimad Bhagavatam to ourselves. And then we go to the deeper meaning of the songs given by Vaishnava Acharya. All these songs are actually ecstasy of Vaishnava Acharya, and they are composed in such a way that teaching of Srimad Bhagavatam, major points they are lying in this song, and we have to extract that pearls, that jewels, and we have to follow that teachings of Vaishnava Acharya in our life. So that much beautiful this Vaishnava song. We can live by one song throughout our life. Not necessary that we should by heart all the song, but it is good that we should know some of the songs with the meaning, and it will help us not to just for singing in a big crowd. These songs are required for our own purification. In the time of reversal, we can take shelter of this song, and that is Krishna consciousness. Even shlokas, when Gaurang Darshan Prabhu was here, he was also telling, in one of the personal thing I was asking, these shlokas, may make us so proud. There are recitation in proper meter and proper raga when we recite the shloka, but we have to do that shloka for ourselves. That shloka, and of course for the satisfaction of devotee, if that consciousness is there, it is very difficult. I'm just talking, our Prabhuji says that it is very easy when others are listening. Talking is very, very easy. But, we have to be careful about the shlokas also. If you are not integrated or not honest with our mind, the same shloka of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is just for the impressing others, if you are not integrated or loyal to ourselves. So that shloka, why we have to recite the shlokas? Because those shlokas have touched the transcendental saliva or transcendental tongue of Supreme Personality of Godhead. He has pronounced that shloka. So we have to take joy in that, because those which is touched by the Lord, and it is Uchishta of Lord, Mahaprasad of Shukadeva Goswami, Mahaprasad of all the Acharyas, that is our consciousness while reciting the shloka. And we saw last 4 days, it was like a yatra when Gaurang Darshan Prabhu was there. It was really like a yatra when we heard so many shlokas from him, and it was so joyful to the heart when we were hearing from him. So I was asking him, Prabhuji, in one of the, 2 months back, I had one question in one of our Bhakti Vaibhav class. So Prabhuji, how we can translate all the instructions of Srimad Bhagavatam in our day-to-day life? We hear so many things, but when practice comes, the problem comes. And Srimad Bhagavatam is for practice. It is not for only reading. Prabhupada writes in purport. Reading is important, but more than reading, when we explain it to others, that is very much important. Because that explanation gives us something, we become guilty. I am explaining the people, but I am not following in my life. So that kind of guilt come, and that should be positive guilt. We should not be, that is Maya's track also. We should not be inferior. We should not trap between inferiority complex and superiority complex also. But that thing, we should take in such a way that this teaching I have to follow in my life throughout the life. So there was a beautiful answer when Akrura was preaching Srimad Bhagavatam to Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra was ready. He has not given up. He has not given to jungle and gave up his life along with Gandhari. Because what happened when Shastric teaching comes from Akrura, the two things happen in the life of Dhritarashtra. One thing is direction. The Shastra gave direction. It is not like that Dhritarashtra did not get direction. He got direction from the Shastras. He got discrimination. Shastra gave him discrimination. You are not the body, you are the soul, and you are just living here. You are eating the Bhishma, whatever Bhima is giving to you. It is like living like a dog. But he could not deviate from, could not follow. Why? Because he got the direction, he got discrimination, but the lacking thing was determination. So when we hear from Shastra, we get direction, we get discrimination, but the lacking point is determination. If you don't follow, we will never follow. So whenever we get some small instruction, last time when Dwarkadish Prabhu, His Grace Dwarkadish Prabhu and Vishakha Mataji came in Farmington, I had COVID actually. I was hearing a lecture from the bed, and I completely could not focus what they were saying. Sound was also low, something was happening. And there was only one point which I could capture, and which was very practical point. They said that while going to japa, don't carry your mobile. And those devotees follow that. When we hear from them, really it help. And I'm telling you, it is not a proud, but I'm telling you, because they practice it such a nicely. Last 2 months, at least when they gone to Mumbai, from that day till today, I somehow or other 90% I could practice by their blessing. I'm not saying that I am a great person, but I could practice because why? Because they are so honest in doing this thing. So really that helped to me actually, because japa is a distraction. This mobile is really distraction during the japa, unless you have very emergency service and somebody is leaving the body and you are keeping that mobile. Otherwise, really great distraction. So so similarly, sorry, I am just spaced out. So I was just saying that Dhritarashtra episode, when Vidura instructed the same thing Dhritarashtra, he got determination to follow. And of course, he gave up his body in yogic way, not like as a devotee give up the body. And Gandhari also gave, but at least he got some kind of detachment, some kind of vairagya, and he left the palace. So that is what happened when we follow the Shastra. That is very important. Some small instruction. We cannot remember everything what Gaurang Darshan Prabhu spoke last 4 days, or Yugal Kishore Prabhu's instructions when we get on our Saturday Srimad Bhagavatam class. But there will be one point that can change our life. And we have to, we should be present in the class with rapt attention. I was asking one question to the Prabhuji on the basis of purport of Srimad Bhagavatam Prabhupada. Prabhupada says, for rapt attention, we require the purity of mind. And for the purity of mind, how it comes? It comes by purity of action. And what is the purity of action? It comes by when we are, follow this ahara, nidra, bhaya, maitun in a regulated way. It is said that when this happen regulated way, timely taking prasadam, timely sleeping, timely getting up, going to bed. So one of the worst thing happen in United States or in our country, India. What is that worst thing happen? When, holiday season started, there is a bad habit started among the student. And it is very, even I am a parent of one son. So what happens, in holiday season, the children get all those bad habits of getting up, late, because whenever a bus coming at 7 o'clock, at least they get up at 6 o'clock. And the morning time is pure, full of goodness, where they can at least chant some round and go to their, attend a school bus and go to their respective destination. But once holiday season start, my Guru Maharaj says that free time is not a opulence. Free time is not a opulence. It is a danger. It's a very big sentence, somebody has put in his home in, that hoarding. The free time is not opulence. It is a danger. So we have to, it is humble request to all parents, including myself, that we have to have some courses for our kids beginning at 8 o'clock, during holiday season. It might be academic also. So 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock, so that habits we can break, continue what they develop during school time. Because these 3 months, any bad habit can come. I saw many devotee, my friends, some of the bad habits, they gone away due to vacation. Vacations are not opulence. Sometimes they are danger if they are not properly utilized in Krishna consciousness. That's what our Farmington Hill is offering, this, summer camp for the student. And we have to preach for the summer camp as much as possible to all the, parents, so that they can also take utilization of this. So avyartha kalatvam, we should not waste a moment in Krishna Smaranam, samsiddhim hari toshanam. Finally, the goal of entire this Krishna consciousness thing, whatever we are doing, always remember Krishna, smartavya satata Krishna, and never forget Krishna. That is the essence of Srimad Bhagavatam, or any literature which is satisfying the transcendental senses of the Lord. That is the whole and soul teaching of Srimad Bhagavatam. So it's 9 o'clock. I will just conclude here with few things if I have not covered yet. Yeah, so almost we discussed about Srivas Thakur, about Sudama, about Madhuram song. And there is one last thing I want to tell, and I will conclude. In Ranganath Kshetram, there were 2 elephants, sea elephant and he elephant. In the morning, they always, with their trunk, they're always greeting Ranganath before Ranganath will come, get up. So they were always helping to, as we ring a bell and, make sure that Lord is getting up. So similarly, so one day they were going for the bath, and then the mouth, or that particular person, he takes that elephant to bath to the river. And one day they were coming from, they were very nicely decorated after bathing, he elephant and sea elephant, and they were coming again to Ranganath. And on the, way, there was one couple, very newly married couple. And that was, hog couple, or, pig couple, newly married. And that the hog, or that pig husband, he wanted to impress his newly married wife. And what he did, he said, I will show some stunt, like this. I will do like this, and I will disturb this elephant, and I will disturb. When he will come here, see, I will do that. And immediately he do like something, I don't know how hog they will do, but that hog, he came on the path of that elephant, he elephant and sea elephant, and trying to disturb them. But elephant doesn't even look, and sea elephant was coming from the back. She thought, this is an insult of my husband. She told in a notation that to husband, that this is insult to you. You can tolerate, but I cannot. She said, my dear wife, we are already getting late to the service of Lord Ranganath. We are, making sure they're getting up, and we have to greet them. And this is a disturbance to my service if I will pay attention to this hog. I can defeat him right now also, but if I defeat it, it is as good as I am already decorated. I have already taken a bath, and it is, it is like a kunjar snan, again, I am putting some dust on my body. We use kunjar snan, these elephant, the things also in our japa related things. So this is like that, so I don't want to go with this. So please forgive him. And I don't want to look at his direction only, because my attention is at the lotus feet of Ranga. So that is what the, our absorption, our rapt attention. And then, as per the shloka, we can say that, the translation of shloka, that the personality of Godhead, Kapila continued, when the living entity is thus unaffected by the modes of material nature, because he is unchanging and does not claim proprietorship, he remains apart from the reaction of the mode, although abiding in a material body, just as the sun remains aloof from its reflection of water. As Srivas Thakur, Sudama's wife, and also this, Ranganatha's elephant, they were unaffected by this thing, as sun is unaffected and remain aloof from reflection of water. So we can learn from all these great things. So I conclude here and thank you very much for your rapt attention. I am really not sincere. Even I am not joining the class. I have to start joining actually by seeing all your participation. I am thinking that I should join these classes. I am very, very lazy person in this, I don't deserve anything here. So thank you very much. And if anybody has any comment, please, you can add.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for this class, Prabhuji. You should give more classes. It's always a pleasure to hear from you, Srimad Bhagavatam. Please give more classes, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. I am like your student, Mataji, really. In Gopal's Garden School.
Prabhuji, you are the topmost principal of everybody. Please don't say like that.
No, Mataji. Anybody has anything to add?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavarpanam, Prabhuji. I'll take nice class, Prabhuji. I'll take 2 points from your class today that you said, right? We have to take 1 point. One is like not using cell phone while chanting. And another one is like when you listen to the class, you have to be fully focused. Thank you, Prabhuji. Wonderful class. Dandavarpanam.
Prabhuji, I just wanted to add that when you were reciting that Gauranga Karuna Karo, at that time I was doing, at that exact time I was doing Aarti too. Because the Pavan Gaura Hari, so sure that how, your prayer is so powerful. Radiates everywhere. Such an ecstatic class, bro. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.